The main topic of debate in the chamber today was the budget yet again. After some debate, the spending plan was passed on a cross-community vote, and the minister dismissed his critics as whingers. Well, one of those who voted against it was our single Green MLA, Stephen Agnew, and he's here to explain why. Now, Stephen, you think the budget's not green enough, but the minister says you're a whinger.
Well, that seems to be the attitude of the minister. He suggested that this was the only possible budget and that anybody else is being unrealistic. But, you know, it's clear that the budget could have been allocated in different ways. From my point of view, it failed on three important issues. It failed to fund the Green New Deal, which I think, as well as being a good forward step in moving us towards a low-carbon economy, I think it would be a pretty major economic driver, and it has support from across the business community, environmental groups, as well as the trade unions. So I think that should be something that this budget should be delivering on. It's failed to protect public services through balancing cuts with revenue-raising measures, and it's failed, as was pointed out today in another debate, to provide the necessary funding so we can keep the cap on fees. So in those three fundamental issues, this budget fails.
Now, in terms of the Green New Deal, that's about creating jobs by helping, make homes more efficient, and there is a government scheme, but the money's simply not there to fund it. That's the reality.
Yes, well, and that's the point I've made in previous debates and made all along. It's where you put your priorities. To me, that should be one of the key priorities, and it's not for this executive, and it's clearly not within the budget. 4 million's been put aside for what's been costed a 75 million a year scheme. I know we're going to come on to it later, but the cost of corporation tax cut, if we go down that route, would be similar to what the cost of the Green New Deal would be. So why are we prioritising the corporation tax cut over the Green New Deal, which it meets a number of policy objectives, not just revitalising the economy, but sustainably moving forward? Well,
certainly you heard a lot of positivity from the parties before the election on the Green New Deal, so do you think that their talk has been cheap?
I think yes. I think ultimately they're by putting this 4 million aside, it's like, oh, we are doing the Green New Deal, but clearly it's not sufficient funds and there's not a genuine commitment to it. What we've got is a pilot scheme, but as I've said on previous occasions, we've had pilot schemes. The Republic of Ireland have produced elements of this. There was an insulation scheme in England. So, we can look at other countries' examples and see what they've done and see the results. It does create jobs, it does reduce people's heating bills, and it does help us reduce our energy usage.
So tomorrow we've got the corporation tax motion, and you're objecting to that as well. You're objecting to the lowering of corporation tax.
Just to be clear, I'll be supporting the motion that the Assembly should have the power, because the Green Party does believe in decision making at the lowest effective level, and I think we should decide here in Northern Ireland what our corporation tax rate is. But I'll be warning against this kind of head rush into reducing it, because it will result in cuts to public services and potential job losses with no guaranteed return.
Well, Michael Ryan, you heard it there. It'll be cuts to public services with no guaranteed return on corporation tax.
I don't believe it has to be cuts to public services. If I look at my own business, we've had to improve our competitiveness year on year to stay in business. In fact, over the last 5 years, we've improved our competitiveness by 15%. So I believe there's opportunity within the public services to improve competitiveness without having to cut jobs. I think we can allocate resources better, and I think the Green New Deal is a very good thing in principle. I'm not having to make a decision on where the budget actually goes, but I think the corporation tax, the data that's there, the evidence that's there, and looking forward to a future for Northern Ireland which is better than we have now, means that we have to do this.
Well, gentlemen, no meeting of minds, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
You'd think that having